20,000 years had passed since the Galactic Alliance entered its long slumber. The galaxy, once vibrant with their presence, had reshaped itself in ways unimaginable during their absence. Where once thriving worlds glowed with the harmony of countless civilizations working as one, now only ruins remained, silent, crumbling testaments to a golden age long forgotten. Nature had reclaimed many of these worlds, spreading verdant jungles over shattered cities, filling craters with vast oceans, and leaving relics hidden beneath layers of sediment and time. New species had risen in the void left by the Alliance, their evolution uninfluenced by the guiding hand of their predecessors. Some of these younger species reached for the stars with trembling hands, their first ventures into the cosmos marked by curiosity and uncertainty. Others advanced boldly, carving out interstellar empires, their ambition unchecked by the once benevolent oversight of the Alliance. Across the galaxy, myths and legends grew around the enigmatic ruins of old Alliance worlds. Their cities, once bustling with life, had become cryptic puzzles, their technologies so advanced that the new inhabitants could only misinterpret their purpose. To many, these relics were evidence of divine beings, an ancient pantheon that had mysteriously vanished. Among the new species, the alien stood out. A race of avian humanoids with a natural talent for exploration, they had long been drawn to the mysteries of the galaxy. With feathers that shimmered in shades of gold and silver, the alien were as visually striking as they were intelligent, their sleek spacecraft often seen charting nebulae and forgotten star systems. One fateful day, an alien exploration vessel detected a mysterious signal emanating from a nebula shrouded in cosmic dust. The signal pulsed faintly, its pattern unlike anything they had encountered before. Following the beacon, the alien navigated the treacherous nebula until they arrived at its source, a colossal structure embedded within a dying asteroid field. The stasis arc loomed like a ghost from another era, its elegant design and faintly glowing energy signature hinting at origins far beyond anything the alien had ever known. The arc's surface was smooth and unblemished, marked only by intricate carvings that seemed both alien and strangely familiar. Despite their advanced technology and analytical prowess, the alien were unable to decipher the arc's purpose or origin. Every attempt to probe its systems resulted in enigmatic responses, as though the arc were deliberately withholding its secrets. The discovery of the arc transformed the asteroid field into a site of pilgrimage. Alien scientists and philosophers gathered to study it, while poets and artists created works inspired by its silent grandeur. Among the alien, debates raged: was the ark a gift left behind by forgotten gods, or a remnant of a long-dead civilization? Their fascination with the structure only grew as rumors spread across the galaxy of similar discoveries on distant worlds. These discoveries awakened a sense of wonder and unease among the younger races. Each arc seemed to pulse faintly with energy, their signals reaching out like whispers from the past. On one volcanic world, an arc was uncovered beneath layers of basalt and ash, its intricate surface unmarred despite the planet's violent tectonic activity. Another was found hidden in the depths of an icy ocean, its glow visible through the frozen water like a beacon in the dark. Across the galaxy, the same question arose among those who encountered the arcs: who had come before them? It was on this volcanic world, nestled among rivers of molten rock and clouds of ash, that the first answer began to stir. Deep within the stasis arc, ancient mechanisms hummed faintly to life, their energy building with agonizing slowness as they recovered from millennia of dormancy. Inside, long rows of stasis pods began to glow, their occupants encased in shimmering light as the revival process unfolded. The first humans to awaken were disoriented, their memories fragmented by the passage of time. They emerged into a galaxy they barely recognized, surrounded by species and technologies unfamiliar to them. Commander Elias Ward was among the first to step from his stasis pod, his uniform bearing the insignia of the old Galactic Alliance still pristine despite the centuries. A military leader and diplomat during the Alliance's final days, Ward had entered stasis knowing the galaxy might look very different upon his awakening. Yet nothing could have prepared him for the enormity of the change. The stars above the arc's surface, once so familiar, now felt alien. The volcanic landscape, harsh and unyielding, was a far cry from the vibrant worlds he had once known. As Ward gazed at the sky, a flood of emotions washed over him, grief for what had been lost, or at the resilience of life, and a profound sense of responsibility. The Alliance had entrusted him and the others with the galaxy's future, believing they would one day awaken to rebuild and protect what remained. Now, that day had come. Around him, other members of the Alliance began to stir, their initial confusion giving way to determination as they recognized their shared purpose. It didn't take long for Ward and his group to realize they were not alone. Alien explorers, who had been monitoring the Ark for months, approached cautiously, their feathered forms gliding gracefully over the rocky terrain. Their leader, a dignified elder named Kale Vayner, introduced herself in halting speech, using a language cobbled together from fragments of Alliance records. Ward, whose training included xenolinguistics, quickly grasped the basics of the alien tongue and began to communicate. Through their conversations, Ward learned of the galaxy's transformation. The Alliance's worlds had become myths, its technology repurposed or lost. Younger races like the alien had flourished in their absence, though their progress had been uneven, marked by periods of conflict and discovery. Yet even in this changed galaxy, echoes of the Alliance's legacy remained, principles of unity and cooperation that had subtly shaped the civilizations that came after. The meeting with the alien marked the beginning of the Alliance's slow resurgence. With Ward's guidance, the awakening humans began to re-establish their systems, using the Ark's still-functional databases to locate other stars' sites. Messages were sent across the stars, calling out to the Arks yet to activate, urging them to awaken. Ward knew that this was only the first step. The Alliance had returned to a galaxy that had moved on without them, and their place within it would need to be earned. But as he stood beneath the volcanic sky, surrounded by both old allies and new friends, he felt the spark of hope ignite within him. The Alliance had a purpose once more, to rise again and ensure the galaxy's future was brighter than its past. As more Stasis Arks activated, the galaxy began to tremble with the resurgence of the Galactic Alliance. Worlds that had forgotten their connection to the past witnessed ancient structures come alive, their dormant systems humming with renewed energy. Automated guardians, silent sentinels that had stood vigil for millennia, stirred to life. These mechanical beings, elegant yet formidable, began transmitting signals across the stars, linking the arcs together in a vast, coordinated network. The signals, incomprehensible to the younger species, heralded a new chapter for the galaxy. The reactivation of the Alliance's hidden infrastructure reached even the Dyson swarms, long shrouded in shadow and thought lost to time. These titanic constructs, designed to harness the energy of stars, reignited like sleeping giants. Across forgotten sectors of space, they once again cast their golden light, a testament to the engineering brilliance of a civilization thought extinct. Slowly but surely, what had been considered lost began to return, along with the wisdom and ideals that had defined the Alliance's golden age. Commander Elias Ward, leading the effort from the first reactivated Ark, wasted no time. With the help of his team, he established contact with other awakening Arks, rallying the remnants of the old Alliance to the cause. The Tholari, their crystalline forms glowing with an ethereal brilliance, retained their ancient intellect and immediately began adapting to the galaxy's altered state. Their computational prowess and energy manipulation techniques were as invaluable as ever. The Zelqor, whose hive-mind consciousness adapted instantly, seamlessly integrated with both the old and new networks, their distributed intelligence expanding to bridge the gap between past and present. Together, these species began to piece the Alliance back together, pulling themselves from the ashes of history. Humanity, ever adaptable, found itself at the heart of this rebirth. With a talent for diplomacy and a natural inclination for fostering connections, humans became the bridge between the Alliance's remnants and the galaxy's newer civilizations. They reached out to the younger species, explaining the purpose of the Alliance, its vision of unity, and its mission to safeguard the galaxy. To many, the concept of such cooperation was alien. These younger powers had grown in a galaxy devoid of the Alliance's stabilizing presence, a galaxy that had taught them that survival often came at the expense of trust. For some, the Alliance's ideals seemed naive, to others, they seemed threatening. This distrust created significant tension. Many of the emerging powers viewed the Alliance as a relic of a bygone age, its resurgence a potential disruption to the order they had built. Some feared that the Alliance's return would overshadow their advancements, relegating their civilizations to second-class status. Others saw opportunity in the Alliance's vulnerabilities, looking for ways to exploit its momentary weakness as it struggled to rebuild. For the Alliance, diplomacy became as crucial as technological and military reconstruction. The careful navigation of these treacherous waters fell largely to humanity, whose natural charisma and adaptability made them ideal negotiators. Commander Ward and his team embarked on a galaxy-wide campaign to secure alliances and ease fears. On the IRA Lin homeworld, they met with the avian species who had first discovered the dormant arcs. The IRA Lin, awed by the Alliance's history and moved by its vision, became its staunch supporters. Their fleet, sleek and agile, was pledged to the cause, and their scholars devoted themselves to unraveling the mysteries of ancient Alliance technology. The Varnek, a pragmatic and calculating species with a long history of strategic maneuvering, were more cautious. Known for their cold logic and distrust of idealism, the Varnek initially kept their distance, observing the Alliance's actions with suspicion. But when they witnessed the technological marvels of a reactivated Dyson swarm, a structure that could power entire star systems, they quickly recognized the benefits of aligning with such a force. The Alliance, in turn, treated the Varnek not with arrogance, but with respect, offering their advanced technology in exchange for cooperation. In time, the Varnek pledged their considerable resources and tactical expertise to the Alliance's cause. Not all negotiations ended so successfully. On the industrial worlds of the Zenthri, the Alliance's overtures were met with hostility. The Zenthri, a fiercely independent race, had carved out an empire in the Alliance's absence and viewed its return as an existential threat. They rebuffed every diplomatic effort, their leaders accusing the Alliance of attempting to re-establish dominance over the galaxy. While Ward lamented the loss of potential allies, he recognized the need to prioritize those willing to embrace cooperation. With every alliance forged, the Alliance grew stronger. Each new member brought fresh perspectives and unique strengths to the table. The younger races, unburdened by the weight of the past, infused the Alliance with energy and determination, while the older members provided wisdom and technological expertise. The melding of old and new created a synergy that rekindled the ideals of unity and mutual prosperity that had once defined the Alliance. But Ward and his team knew that rebuilding the Alliance was only the first step. The galaxy had changed, and the shadows of the Krivax Empire loomed ever closer. As Dyson swarms reignited and fleets reassembled, the Alliance prepared not just to reclaim its place in the galaxy, but to face the storm that had once nearly destroyed it. With every passing day, the resurgence of the Alliance sent a clear message across the stars: the guardians of the galaxy had returned, and they would not falter again. Even as the Alliance rebuilt its strength, distant whispers began to hint at the return of their most feared enemy. Reports of monstrous biomechanical ships lurking on the galaxy's edges spread like wildfire, each account more chilling and credible than the last. These sightings, initially dismissed as exaggerations or the inventions of frightened minds, soon became impossible to ignore. The truth was undeniable: the Krivax Empire, far from being weakened, had thrived in the vastness of their home galaxy. They had continued their relentless expansion, consuming nearby galaxies and refining their horrifying technologies. For them, time had not dulled their ambitions, it had sharpened them. The Krivax had always been patient predators, methodical in their conquests. The collapse of the portal that had severed their connection to the Alliance's galaxy 20,000 years ago had been a setback, but not a defeat. In their home galaxy, they had flourished, assimilating the resources and knowledge of countless other civilizations. What had begun as a vast empire had grown into an unstoppable juggernaut, with their biomechanical ships evolving into even deadlier forms and their technology advancing beyond what the Alliance had faced in the past. What brought the Krivax back to the galaxy of the Alliance was a discovery as fortuitous as it was ominous. Somewhere in the void, one of the signals emitted by a reactivating stasis arc reached them, a faint whisper of life from the galaxy they had once sought to dominate. To the Krivax, it was a beacon. They analyzed the signal, tracing its origin, and realized what it meant: the Alliance was stirring once more. The chance to finish what they had started millennia ago had returned, and the Krivax Empire wasted no time. Using their mastery of portal technology, they began constructing gateways to bring their fleets back to the galaxy they had once tried to conquer. The first assault came without warning. A Krivax fleet emerged from a newly constructed portal on the outskirts of the galaxy, targeting a thriving frontier colony that had recently allied itself with the Reborn Alliance. The colony, a symbol of unity between the old and new civilizations of the galaxy, had been a beacon of hope. Its bustling cities and productive industries stood as a testament to the Alliance's ideals. The Krivax annihilated it in mere hours. By the time Alliance reinforcements arrived, the colony was nothing more than a graveyard. The planet's surface was a scorched wasteland, its people and resources consumed by the Krivax war machine. The message was clear: the Krivax had returned, and they would stop at nothing to claim the galaxy. For the Alliance, still in the early stages of its revival, the attack was a devastating blow. The memories of the old war came rushing back, accompanied by the grim realization that the Krivax had not merely survived, but had grown even more powerful. The Alliance's leaders convened in an emergency session aboard a newly restored command station, their voices filled with urgency as they debated their next move. It was clear that the galaxy's survival depended on immediate action. Across the stars, the Alliance's long-hidden fleets were brought online. These vessels, stored in deep space shipyards and forgotten nebulae, had been designed to counter the Krivax threat in the aftermath of the First War. Though old by modern standards, they were still formidable, and the Alliance's engineers worked tirelessly to retrofit them with newer technology. Factories that had lain dormant for centuries roared to life, producing advanced weaponry and defenses developed in the waning days of the old Alliance. The Dyson swarms, now fully reignited, provided the energy to sustain the war effort. The Alliance called upon its younger allies, rallying them to the cause. Many answered willingly, their leaders recognizing the existential threat posed by the Krivax. The IRA-ling contributed their swift and agile ships, well-suited for reconnaissance and rapid assaults. The Varnek, ever pragmatic, pledged their industrial might, producing resources and equipment at an astonishing rate. Even the more hesitant civilizations, spurred by the brutality of the Krivax attack, began to join the effort. For the first time in millennia, the galaxy began to coalesce into a united front. At the center of this response was Commander Elias Ward. His leadership and human ingenuity became the linchpin of the Alliance's strategy. Ward's ability to adapt to unforeseen challenges and his natural talent for uniting disparate forces earned him the trust of both the Alliance's elder races and its younger allies. Under his command, the Alliance began to strike back. Their first counterattack came swiftly. Intelligence gathered from surviving frontier scouts revealed the location of a Krivax supply convoy. Ward led a daring raid, coordinating a fleet of both old Alliance warships and newer vessels contributed by their allies. The Krivax, unused to facing an enemy that could outmaneuver them, were caught off guard. The convoy was destroyed, depriving the Krivax of vital resources and striking a blow to their morale. It was the Alliance's first victory since their awakening, and it proved that they could stand against their ancient foe. With every engagement, the Alliance refined its tactics. Ward orchestrated a series of daring missions to sabotage fledgling Krivax portals before they could fully activate. Using stealth and precision, strike teams infiltrated Krivax facilities, planting explosives and hacking systems to destabilize their operations. These victories, though hard-fought, began to slow the Krivax advance. Still, each victory came at a cost. The Krivax were relentless, and their sheer numbers often threatened to overwhelm even the most coordinated defenses. For every portal destroyed, another seemed to appear. But the Alliance grew more confident with each success. The new generation of their allies proved to be fast learners, their contributions invaluable. The Alliance, bolstered by the shared determination of old and new, became more than the sum of its parts. As the war escalated, the galaxy's fragmented civilizations began to see the Alliance not as a relic of the past, but as the beacon of hope it had always been. The Krivax had returned, stronger than ever, but so had the Alliance. This time, they would not falter. The galaxy stood on the precipice of annihilation, but it also stood united, a unity forged in the crucible of survival and defiance. The war reached its harrowing climax when the Krivax unveiled their ultimate weapon, a colossal superportal capable of bridging the vast distance between their galaxy and this one. Unlike previous portals, which brought limited fleets through, This one was designed to transport the entirety of the Krivax Empire. Positioned on a barren, radiation-scorched world surrounded by black holes, the portal was a feat of terrifying ingenuity. Its swirling energy field spanned kilometers, crackling with an otherworldly glow as vast conduits channeled power from nearby singularities. Around it hovered the largest Krivax fleet ever assembled, a biomechanical armada designed for one purpose, to defend the portal until it fully activated. If the portal succeeded, the galaxy would fall under the unrelenting dominion of the Krivax Empire. The Alliance, knowing that the portal's activation would spell the end of everything they had fought for, prepared a massive offensive. Every resource, every ship, and every able fighter was committed to the battle. Fleets from every corner of the galaxy converged on the Krivax stronghold, creating a force unmatched in scale or determination. It was a coalition of old Alliance ships, their gleaming hulls retrofitted with advanced weaponry, and new vessels contributed by the galaxy's younger civilizations. The sheer diversity of ships, from the sleek and agile craft of the IRA Lin to the heavy, industrial warships of the Varnek, was a testament to the unity forged in the crucible of war. The assault began with a ferocity that shook the void. As the Alliance fleet emerged from hyperspace, the Krivax met them head-on. The skies burned with the light of countless explosions as beams of energy, missile barrages, and fiery projectiles lit up the darkness. Ships on both sides were torn apart, their debris spiraling into the gravity wells of the nearby black holes. The sounds of battle reverberated through the comm channels, shouted commands, desperate cries, and the grim silence that followed as ships fell to the relentless assault. Commander Elias Ward, aboard the flagship Resolute, spearheaded the attack on the portal itself. The Resolute, a towering behemoth of a warship, bristled with weaponry and shielded by layers of advanced Alliance technology. From its bridge, Ward coordinated the chaotic battle, issuing orders to fleets scattered across light minutes of space. His voice remained steady, even as the situation grew increasingly dire. The Krivax fleet seemed endless, their biomechanical ships regenerating from damage with horrifying efficiency. Despite the odds, the Alliance pressed forward, focusing their firepower on key defensive nodes surrounding the portal. Through relentless determination and precision strikes, they began to create a narrow corridor toward the superportal. The plan was as daring as it was desperate. Ward and a strike team would infiltrate the portal's control station, planted at its heart like a malevolent core, and destabilize it from within. As the Resolute approached the portal, its escorts fell in a desperate bid to shield it from the Krivax onslaught. Ward's team, clad in advanced combat suits, deployed in drop pods that slammed into the portal station's surface. Inside, they were met with nightmarish resistance. The corridors were organic and pulsating, the walls lined with grotesque biomechanical growths. Krivax drones poured forth in waves, their insectoid forms wielding blades and weapons grafted into their very flesh. The team fought through the horrors with grit and precision, their weapons carving a path toward the station's core. Reaching the control hub, Ward's team planted a series of destabilizing charges on the portal's power conduits. As they worked, alarms blared, and larger Krivax constructs descended upon them. Ward himself faced off against a towering Krivax commander, its body a grotesque fusion of metal and sinew. After a brutal struggle, Ward managed to defeat the creature, buying the team the time they needed to complete their mission. The charges detonated, and the portal began to collapse. Its swirling energy field destabilized, spiraling out of control as it consumed everything around it. Ward's team barely escaped, returning to the Resolute just as the portal erupted in a blinding explosion. The shockwave rippled through the Krivax fleet, destroying or disabling their ships in a cascade of destruction. The resulting implosion severed the Krivax's connection to the galaxy, ensuring they could no longer send reinforcements. The Alliance had won, but the victory came at a steep price. Countless lives had been lost, and the battlefield was littered with the wreckage of ships and the fragments of fallen soldiers. The galaxy would bear the scars of this conflict for generations, but amidst the devastation, there was hope. The Krivax were defeated, their invasion thwarted, and the Alliance had proven that even in the face of overwhelming odds, unity and resilience could triumph. With the Krivax defeated, the galaxy turned its focus to rebuilding. The Alliance, no longer a relic of the past, became a living testament to the power of unity. New species joined its ranks, inspired by its ideals and the sacrifices made during the war. The once fractured galaxy began to heal, its people working together to forge a future free from the shadow of the Krivax Empire. Commander Ward, hailed as a hero, chose a quiet life in the end, mentoring future generations of leaders who would carry the Alliance's vision forward. The stasis arcs were deactivated one by one, their inhabitants joining the galaxy they had fought so hard to protect. In the endless expanse of space, the words of the Alliance's final communique rang true. We are the Alliance. We endure. The stars, once darkened by war, now shone brighter than ever.